What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Sports Talk in Depth. I'm your boy Mo. I'm that dude, Mo. However you want to say it. But anyway, I know I'm lame, but it's all I know sports. So I know sports. I might be a little lame, but I know sports. But let's get this subject going, man. Y'all bear with me. I'm a little sleepy, but hey, I'm gonna push through it because hey, if you don't do it, then you'll never do it. And I know that story too well, and it's time to change that. So I'm gonna let y'all see who I am. Hey, we gonna get this thing popping. We're gonna talk about the trades. First, I gotta say, welcome to Sports Talk in Depth. I want to make sure I say that. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, like the channel. I'm gonna be struggling here and there. Bear with it. It's like a little baby crawling, trying to get used to everything. So, we're gonna talk about the NBA blockbuster trades. Mainly the one that everybody's talking about. Jaylen Brown, I'm in Atlanta, so I'm thinking he's going to come here. I hear all the the talks before all this, the draft and all that. But, I knew Atlanta wasn't serious, when, and they kind of taking a different route, which I think the GM was doing a good job. But, once they made a couple of moves and I'm like, okay, they out of the picture. But I was wrong. I thought it would be Golden State. I said Golden State, my video, if everybody goes to see it, that's my first video on Sports Talk in Depth. And I thought Golden State would make that splash before everybody. But little did I know it was Philadelphia 76ers. So, I got a lot to talk about. So Jaylen Brown is traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay, so now what do we think about this? Do you guys think that, Philadelphia just made themselves number one in the East? We're going to get to that, while I'm talking about things, here and there. I'm going to talk for about 10 minutes. Then I'm going to put the link. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the link up right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this link up right now. And that way, when people see it, I'm not going to just know. I'm not. If you do, it's good. If you do come in, and everybody's in the live chat, that'll be a great thing because, am better than them, as they say. One or two is better than zero. But y'all just give me time to just break it down for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then that's when I'm gonna try to, put everybody on screen or just let you talk. I ask you to, keep it PG. I know a lot of people like the realness. But yeah, I want kids to, I would like kids to kind of come in, teenagers and talk about sports and stuff like that. So that's why I want to keep it PG. But I know things happen here and there. But anyway, okay. So now let me put the link up before I start, and that way everybody will have it on there. There you go. So guys, if you see this right here, that's the link. That's the link right there. So I'm not ignoring you. Okay, so if you click on that link, I'm not ignoring you. Okay, I just got to go through my rundown. That way we can have a real show. So get ready for this next. This is going to be my next question to everybody. Once I finish, how would you rank your top 8 teams in the Eastern Conference now after the off-season moves? Now you guys can type that in right now for the ones that don't want to come in. So, okay, so yeah. Let's go. Let's get it. So, so a lot of people are saying why did Boston Celtics why did they do that? Why did they make the trade? It seemed like it was kind of like just kind of pushed. It wasn't really, it just don't seem like it was some type of effort to make, for the Celtics to get back a lot of things that they wanted. But I'm gonna let you guys know. I'm gonna kind of talk from the other side. It seemed like something I would have done if I was a GM, because I know a lot of people say, "Well, this got to be the stupidest move." When things are happening, and it's turmoil, and then like they said, the GM did express or did put out where he was going to trade Jaylen Brown, and it didn't work, and now you kind of like forced your hand. I think based on the injuries, aside this, injuries aside, Paul George is a veteran. And I believe they're looking for that guy who wants to take a step, who's willing to take a step back. Because when you got two dogs, playing, I mean, that could be tough. And it could be a lot of, kind of friction. So I believe what the Celtics are doing, the Celtics first and say, hey, we beat teams without Jason Tatum and just playing one guy. So, and then Jason Tatum played, and then Jaylen Brown wouldn't play, and they won those games too. So I don't think they're scared. And also they have a system over there. They have a system over there, so these guys can shoot. I mean, like you play around, and then you end up seeing what you end up seeing the point guard that they have. He ended up putting 35 points up. So Boston's really not scary. And what point guard am I talking about? I'm talking about Pritchard. So I'm talking about Pritchard. So Pritchard, he'll mess around and put Peyton Pritchard, I say his first name. He'll mess around and put 30 points on you. So I mean, they're not scared. I mean, they have some shooters on the team, and they're kind of used to playing without certain people. I just think that's their culture, man. They don't really. I guess they're trying to show Jaylen Brown, like, we want to play you in our conference, and we feel like we can beat you on the Sixers team. And that just shows the moxie of Boston. But anyway, I know I'm kind of going all over the place. So now let me stay on schedule. Okay, so hold on one second. And then I start getting to, if anybody come on and click on the link that's right here, I'll start getting to you, to everybody and putting you on so you can kind of tell me what you think about this, this Boston trade. Now I want to say that Philadelphia just win the NBA offseason. Did Philadelphia just win the Eastern Conference? That's what I want to ask everybody. Is Philadelphia 76ers number one at the end of the regular season, based on how we look today as far as all the moves, all the trades that have been done? So let me get this off so everybody can see, because I believe the best teacher is visual. The best teacher is visual. So let me get you guys on here. 1 second. Okay, so now here we go. So let's look at something right quick. We're going to NBA.com just so we can get the visual. I know you guys want to see that visual. So there we go. And now let's put this on the screen. There we go. That's what we want. That's how I want it to look right there. So, okay. So now, I like this. It says four takeaways. Jaylen Brown. This is from NBA.com. Jaylen Brown heads to Philadelphia and reported blockbuster trade, like everybody know. And this is from John Schuschman. What is it? Schuschman. Man, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm not the best person when it comes to names and all that. So we just call him John S. A reporter from NBA.com, and he just kind of talking about the trade. It says the trade activity continues to provide more drama than free agency. Yeah, I will admit, man, it's been busy. Dang, New York Knicks win, and everybody's going crazy, and really is in their own conference. So that's what I want to talk about. So the New York Knicks, of course, everybody know they won the NBA Finals. A lot of people didn't believe me. We look at Maurice J. Hicks. You look at my Twitter page or X page, and I'm so used to saying Twitter. And then you look at my Instagram or TikTok. I said that after Atlanta, Atlanta Hawks lost that fifth game in the postseason. And then they lost the game 6. And I was like, oh, we woke up the bear. And I was like, New York is gonna win. When New York's gonna win the NBA Finals, the Eastern Conference is tougher. Now, I had a lot of people was disagreeing with that. A lot of people disagree with that, and a lot of people are actually laughing. So nobody's laughing now because that's one thing. They were looking at New York winning 4-0, and then they swept one team, and then they swept the Cleveland. Well, they swept, who was it? The Sixers. Then they swept the Cavs. And so a lot of people were kind of like, the East is so weak, and now the Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder, which are great teams. Now everybody's saying that, hey, whoever wins this that's who's going to come out of it. That's who's going to win. So yeah, I mean, I'm like Rodney Dangerfield, man. I get no respect. So I mean, I'm just playing, guys. I try to say, I mean, I'm humble with that, man. It's all good. I mean, at the end of the day, I know what time it is. So, so yeah, that's what that's what I wanted to talk about. NBA offseason winners and losers. Who do you guys think are the winners and losers? Now, right now, I think the winners, believe it or not, I go in order. And it's going to tell you a little bit about my rankings because I'm going to give you guys the ranking, and kind of go over it. And so now I would say the best. I mean, of course, I got to say this. Like everybody else, I feel like Philadelphia is number one right now, as far as not number one in the rankings. I feel like they have the best all season because anytime you get, I mean, Jaylen Brown, he's a baller, man. He's from Atlanta, so I mean, what more can you expect? But yeah, that's a great move. So I think right now the off season, the best moves probably go to Boston, Miami. I'm telling you guys based on what I'm saying, you're gonna kind of like how I'm gonna rank it. But yeah, Miami Heat. It's gonna sound crazy. Giannis, I mean, he's a great player, but I just don't see how that gets them over the top. There's a lot more things that has to happen. But I know Miami, like I said before, now I do respect there are scouts and all that. Miami you can find. They go to any country or any D League and find somebody who can play, and then he end up scoring. He end up averaging 20-some points per game. So you got a great head coach and a great GM, and Pat Riley and all, Spoelstra. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But yeah, I think highly of them guys. So so now I tell you what, let's do this. Let's do this because the night is kind of creeping up on us. I'm gonna kind of run through this a little bit. So my updated NBA East power rankings. That's what I want to talk about. So now I have this on here right here. I'm going to give you guys my top. Hold on one second. I'm going to give you guys my top 8 in the East. Hold on one second. So I'm going to give you guys my top 8 teams in the East, and let's go. And I'm going to make sure I put it down. I'm not going to have you in suspense today. I take it easy on you. Let's just get right down to it. Let's get right down to it. So make sure what I'm doing, I'm making sure that I separate the team so you can see it. Should have probably been ready, huh? Or you know what? You know what? I tell you what, I do this right here. Hey, with all this technology, man, hey, let's get kind of, let's make this thing interesting and make it. I'll let you guys see my notes. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll let you see my notes. Hey, I don't care. Okay, so here we go, right here. Let's go. I'm gonna take you to my Google notes. Hey, why not? I keep it real. I keep it real on here. Let's see if we can get it up there on the screen. So here we go, right here. So hey, this is my top 8. You guys should be able to see it right now. So hey, my top 8 right here. Okay. So I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks. I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks at number 1. I just feel like, they just got it. They got that team. Now they will miss their backup center. Forgot his name. But now he could be going to. I think he's going to the Celtics, if I'm not mistaken. I think Robinson. I think it's Robinson. So yeah, but they did it. But the Knicks did a great job with their draft. They did a great job with their draft, and then I don't know. It just seemed like this GM is really he clicking on all cylinders right now. And I'm not just saying that. Like I said the Knicks are gonna win. Because they impressed me. Anytime and it took a lot of courage to fire their coach last year, and then now get Mike Brown, and now look at the results. So New York Knicks number 1. A lot of people are gonna say I'm showing favoritism, and people are gonna call me crazy. I'm gonna say Atlanta Hawks. I'm gonna say the Atlanta Hawks. I think the Atlanta Hawks had a great offseason. I think they had a great offseason. They filled all their needs, in my opinion, and they got a backup. One of the low key moves they signed the backup center. They signed the backup center, so I think that's gonna be big. That's gonna be big, and then also they got a point guard from the draft. At first, I was like, I kind of wanted the guy from Michigan, but then I could kind of see why. I mean, as long as they did pick a center, and then now they got a center in the second round from North Carolina. So I felt like Atlanta hit it out the ballpark. So, I mean, I don't know. And then they made a couple of moves that were under the radar as far as the trades. They got one guy from the Sacramento Kings, and then they got a guy from the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I don't know, man. I think Atlanta's young and they're gonna be better. And they got a lot of confidence. Now they didn't sign Kuminga, but you know what? A lot of people talking about that. I think that draft pick that they got from St. John, I feel like that guy's going to be probably the Kuminga that they wanted as far as a shooter, and so watch out for the guy. Now Kuminga, of course, is an athlete, but, I just think that he's going to be what I think he's going to, he fits. It kind of reminds me of the Celtics. He fits the coach's philosophy. I mean, he can play all different sorts, and then the GM too, all different positions and all that. So anyway, okay, now let's get to the Philadelphia 76ers. See, the reason I picked Atlanta over the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't believe Atlanta's scared of Philadelphia. They beat Boston with Jaylen Brown, and then Boston's a great team. So I don't think that they're scared. And also, now Joel Embiid comes back and play. Yeah. So that line, it's a line between the two. I mean, it could go either way. I think Philadelphia could be 2 if Embiid has a promising season and he's free of injuries. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, if in the playoffs, I think they can be a problem for Atlanta. If Embiid kind of rest up for that. But so I got the Knicks at 1, Hawks at 2, 76ers at 3, Pistons at 4. Who was there at number 1, but now I got them going to number 4 now. We got the Boston Celtics. They could be at number 4, but I don't know. Detroit plays them really well. They're not really scared of Boston. They kind of used to playing with 76ers, and they used to playing the Knicks used to playing. And Atlanta, it can go either way. It can go either way. They could beat Atlanta. Now, Atlanta could be at 5, and Boston could be at 2. Those are my 2 teams it depends on how things are going. But I think Atlanta we were playing the Knicks. I really think that helped them last year and getting beat down. I think that's going to really push them over the edge, And a lot of people are wondering why Atlanta is not making, like the people in Atlanta, like, what's going on? But they don't understand. Atlanta, I believe they're on the verge. They're on the verge of doing something. And a lot of people, trust me, guys, I know this. A lot of people in Atlanta are going to say you're crazy. And see, this is why Atlanta. But I'm telling you guys, they're lengthy across the board. Trae Young is gone. And so now, I think Trae Young is going to have a good team too. So I want people to know that. I think he's on the right. The Wizards look pretty good. I think that's the team for him. I've been saying that. But Atlanta just I believe Dyson Daniels is going to probably come. He's going to probably come back and start shooting. I think his shooting's going to increase. I think it's going to be a little better. It's going to improve. So I think that's going to kind of get them to that notch that they're looking for. So now going back to Boston, number 5. So like I said, you can go 2 or 5 with Atlanta. It depends. Either Boston would be at 2 and Atlanta at 5. Now 6. This is where it got tricky. I think the Atlanta conference is the second toughest. So I got to go with Orlando Magic because they played Detroit well, and they're young too. Miami Heat, I just got confidence in Pat Riley and the head coach, and then also Janet. Janice. If he can stay healthy, I think the squad to kind of get to that 7, maybe 6 seed. Orlando and Miami be fighting for that, and Toronto Raptors number 8. So those are my teams. Now, if you see this, I want you guys to put down your top 8. And then I know you guys are gonna laugh at me. Hey, so tell me why you think I'm wrong. Tell me why you think I'm crazy. Hey, I want you to say that. So yeah, that's what I see right there for my top 8 Eastern Conference teams as of today. If we were to rank them and based on the trades and all that. So what team that I leave out, that's what I want you guys to talk about too, in the comment section. Like I said, this is live, so bear with me, guys. I mean, this is, hold on one second. This is fairly new to me. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today as far as the NBA. If you want to click on, talk about it. I get about 5 or 6 or 7, people who want to, actually talk about it and express, who what team they believe is number 1. Do you think the Knicks still will be number 1? Do you think Philadelphia just moved over the Knicks, on top of the Knicks, and now the 76ers are number 1? I mean, for them to get swept, I just don't see a 4-game improvement where they can win that series. I mean, it wasn't really competitive. So maybe they'll go 4-2 like Atlanta did, but I think Atlanta probably will go 4-3 now. Depending, or could possibly win. The Knicks were in trouble. So that's why, the Knicks were in trouble and they turned it on. And you can see that experience in the youth of Atlanta. You can just see. And then also, who was that? I want to say their point guard. I'm drawing a blank, but he had dead legs, man. He had dead legs, after that game 4. He looked pretty tired. Why can't I remember his name? Hold on one second. I can't move on until I figure out, until I call his name, because I'm like, man, what am I? How am I an Atlanta fan, but I can't remember my guy's name? CJ McCollum. Yeah, CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum legs were shot. And that was the end of it, So, but yeah, if it wasn't for that, and so that's why I think that point guard was a great pick, because now they've added depth. And so now it's scoring, they couldn't really score too. So against the Knicks. So that that's why I'm not showing favoritism right now talking about Atlanta. I'm telling you guys why I picked Atlanta second. I feel like this is a team. If you take away the Knicks, Atlanta had the best second half of the season. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not really going crazy. And now people don't know chemistry means a lot. So Philadelphia is going to struggle a little bit because they got to figure out how to play. Those young guys got to figure out how to play with Jaylen Brown and then also Embiid coming in and all and from injury. So yeah, I really wanted to put them at 5. I can see Boston being number 3. Like I said, 2 or 3. So yeah, I don't have anybody coming on today. I mean, which is expected. So that's cool. So now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk about just go over a little bit over the other sports. So yeah, you guys look at that and make sure you comment. Okay, and so now, tell you what, let's talk about the Major League Baseball. I'm showing favoritism again, but I have to talk about it because now it is it's a big time subject. It's a big time subject. So so now let's look at the standings. Let's look at the standings of the MLB right quick. Let me see, where can I find it? On my tab. Yeah, we'll go right here. So we'll just jump right into it. You know what? Let's go to MLB.com. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get you on MLB.com. So okay, so right here, MLB.com, the standings. And I'm not going to talk about this too long. Make sure you guys can see. So, we have Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's playing pretty good. Tampa is playing pretty good. So Tampa Bay Rays are playing pretty good. Let's do league so we can see who's all. And I'll just give you a top. Yeah, there you go. Let's just talk about the top 6, I guess. So Tampa Bay Rays, 51-33. New York Yankees, 48-38. Chicago White Sox. Since they played Atlanta Braves, they've been doing pretty good. Chicago White Sox have been doing pretty good. So they're looking like a pretty good team. You got Cleveland, Texas, and then Seattle Mariners. And I would say out of the bunch, I would say watch out for Chicago White Sox. Chicago White Sox, the pitching is pretty good. Seattle Mariners, they can kind of be a surprise here and there. But Tampa Bay, they're really surprising me. I mean, they're doing their job, man. I mean, they're doing a good job. I tell you what, them teams in Florida, they don't spend a lot of money, but boy, I tell you, they can recruit. And I guess Florida really have some of the best baseball players too. I mean, it's always warm down there, so maybe that's the trick. But so now let's go right here and look at the East. I said the East. I'm thinking about baseball. Let's look at the National. Look at the National League. So here we go right here. Tell you what, let's just get it bigger. Yeah. Get a little bit bigger for everybody to say, okay, so now the Dodgers, man. So here's what I wanted to talk about. So the Atlanta Braves are struggling. So, I mean, like I said, guys, I'm from Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. So, I mean, Atlanta took off. I'm not really disappointed in them because they have injuries. But I guess the way they're losing, that's the concern. And then, the topic right now is Raleigh. Raleigh's struggling at third base. I think he's going to be all right. He's going to turn it on after the All-Star. He's going to find himself. I think right now he's pressing. He signed the contract, so yeah, but the Dodgers, the Braves beat them early in the season, and now they're turning it on. I think the Dodgers were, I believe they had injuries, as far as they were going through a little injuries and people not playing here and there. So now the Dodgers are back. Of course, the Dodgers are number one. I mean, they're proving it. They're battle tested. Milwaukee Brewers, Braves, Cubs, Phillies. This is where it gets interesting. And so yeah, this is Philadelphia is hot. Philadelphia is hot. Chicago Cubs are hot. So can the Braves hold on? That's the question. What do you guys think? So that's what I wanted to talk about. And one thing I want to talk about too, and I'm going to talk about this it's going to be another topic. I want you guys to come on live and talk about, not now, but I'll put this right here. Yeah, just do you think? I mean, this would be a good topic. Do you think the national, the Major League Baseball, do you think they need a salary cap? I'm a GM guy. That's what I really want it to be. And right now it look like it's not going well. But hey, this is filling the void right here. That's why I would, I hope you guys come on and bear with me. There's a lot of things I gotta tweak. And so I will. But yeah, to have a salary cap, man, it shows the how do I want to put this? It shows the talent. It shows the talent of the GM in the front office. When everybody has the same salary cap, it makes things interesting because now people got to lose somebody, and now your scouting department is going to really showcase itself. And you know who I believe will win if they had a salary cap? The three teams I believe in Major League Baseball who will win. They would start. The three teams. This is going to surprise you, and they're normally not good because of their scouting. I just mentioned it. Miami Marlins. Really, I should say Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh would dominate probably because for some reason they don't have all the money. They have like probably the lowest, but they always seem to hit it. But then they lose their players and everybody feed off of them, their farm system. So I would say Pittsburgh Pirates would be my number one team. Miami Marlins would be my number two team. And I guess I would have to say Tampa Bay Rays, even though they're winning right now. I believe, like I said, them Florida teams, there's something about them. I believe they can actually try to, figure out ways to combat salary cap because they're so used to competing with a cheaper budget anyway. You see what I'm saying? And I believe Major League Baseball know that. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I feel like that's a good subject. I'm gonna talk about that one day. Excuse my raspy voice. I'm a little tired. And so now let's move on. So yeah, just type in who's your two top teams in the American League. So at the end of the season, who's going to finish in the American League and who's the top two teams in the National League. So I believe it's going to be the Dodgers. Ah, man. And I believe it's going to be, I hate to say this, I believe the Philadelphia Phillies might do it. Might be the second team. Atlanta's going to get better. It's going to be a close, Atlanta is going to improve. They're going to get back on track. So I'm trying to, but the injuries, I think they had the pitching is what I'm worried about because those arms, man, once they start hurting. And so now Philadelphia's rolling, man. And it's going to be tough. Atlanta needed like 7 games ahead of them. because they so I don't know when it comes to the postseason, Philadelphia turns it on. Atlanta used to be that team, but now it's Philadelphia, and so now I would say the Dodgers and Philadelphia. Now, who are my teams in the American League? If it were to end, I guess at the end of the season, I'm gonna go with the Rays, Tampa Bay Rays, and Chicago White Sox. I believe they're gonna keep. I believe they're gonna keep going. They're gonna keep that steam going, and their pitching is really, really good. I like their team. I think they got a pretty good team. So that is it for that for the MLB. Now let's go and just look at some of the soccer scores, and I'm not gonna be too long with that. So right here, let's look at the soccer scores. Where is that? 1 second. There we go. Okay, so let's just see who won today. I'm just gonna kind of go over it a little bit because I said I want to learn a little bit more about soccer, so that's my goal. And so the best thing for me to do is just to kind of cover it for a little bit and just see who won and try to keep track. So now, as you guys can see, Norway won 2-1. France, who's supposed to be the favorite, they won 3-0. They beat Sweden. Mexico won 2-0. England, they won 2-1. Belgium won 3-2. USA, the USA is hot. They won 2-0. So Spain 3-0. They beat Austria, and Portugal won 2-1. They beat Croatia. So let me know who you guys think. Hey, for all those soccer fans out there, you need to teach me. So do you think France? I heard oh yeah, I forgot. So Germany's out, man. I thought Germany was the team. That was the team to beat. So France look like they're the team now. If anybody disagrees, just put in the comments later on. Let me know what team you think will win. Soccer, or the FIFA. Let me know. Who's the favorite. Do you think USA will win? Do you think Portugal? Do you think Mexico? They say Mexico. I think Mexico haven't allowed a point yet. So defense, they say defense wins championship. So I might be looking at Mexico because that tells me a lot. Defense wins championships. If you can't score, you can't win. So yeah, that's it right there. So yeah, I'm gonna call it. Before I get off, here's what I want to say. I want to ask you guys this question right here. Who won the Jaylen Brown trade? Everybody's gonna laugh at that. I just want to say, I want you guys to type in it, later on. I want you to type your answer. Also, do you think that the Celtics will be in the top 3 or top 5? I just say the top 5. Some people will say no. I do. I think they can get to the 3rd or 2nd spot too, depending on the chemistry and all that. But they really and truly, the chemistry is going to be okay. They added in a shot blocker from New York, and then now you got a veteran who's going to be willing to do whatever he got to do, because Paul George want to win the championship. He want to win the championship. So if Paul George got to come off the bench, he's going to come off the bench. So I believe that's why the Celtics did what they did. So don't y'all get it twisted, man. Celtics know how to win championships. They know sports up there, man. In the New England area, and Patriots. So yeah, right here. Also the Ja Morant trade. What do you guys think about that? And which NBA team, like I said earlier, had the best offseason? So you guys make sure you put that in the comments. So hey, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to comment on the comment area, but after this is on, since I have 0 views, but no, it's gonna pick up though. It's gonna pick up, and trust me, it's gonna be, once if I'm not sleepy, now I can kind of engage a little more, and then also we'll pick it up and start having more people. I just got to do a better job advertising it and send it out. But right now, this is giving me a chance to get this, just work out the kinks and all that, and see how I want to kind of, introduce everything. But yeah, y'all take care. Hey, this is Sports Talk in Depth, and I will talk to you guys later. Hey, this is where the fans, you are the coaches and the GM. That's what I want you to act like. So I want you to be there and act like the GM and a coach. And when you talk and call in, I want them moves, and I want why. This is why I'm doing. This is why we do this, and this is why I'm doing this. This is why this team should do that. That's where I want you guys to come on and talk, because I want you to kind of influence me to change my mind. Because you know what? I don't have no pride on the table. But hey, yeah, this is Sports Talk in Depth. I'll talk to y'all later.